You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Good morning and welcome to Catholic Chicago, WNDZ, 750 AM, 312-255-8408, or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. What a beautiful day in Chicago. We have some wonderful guests today. Before I introduce our guests, though, I wanted to give you a few brief updates. Father Greg is not here today. He's joining all the priests of the Archdiocese in Lake Geneva for the biannual priest convocation. So he sends his regards. Please keep all our priests in your prayers during these days of praying, planning, and playing. I hope they get a little recreation time. I'm wearing, just so you can see here, the Mundelein Seminary vest, a little commercial for them. It's the 100th anniversary of Mundelein. Please go to usml.edu and support our seminary. A special shout out this week to Deacon Dan Welter, Chancellor of the Archdiocese, who is retiring from Chancellor duties, coming over to the Cathedral with more extensive duties as a deacon assigned to Holy Name, which is wonderful. And then one little commercial for October of this coming year. Cathedral has been gifted with a beautiful sculpture of Mother Cabrini. It's going to be in the outside gardens. It's going to be dedicated in October, and it's created by Lou Sella, who has created Michael Jordan at the United Center, all the Cub statues. He's created things at Notre Dame, etc. So October 15th, mark your calendars. And today, Saints Peter and Paul Parish celebrated their last Mass yesterday as they now combine into a new unified parish with other churches. Joining us this morning to reminisce about the history of Saints Peter and Paul, to talk about the journey that lies ahead, our Father Honoratus Mwageni, I hope I said that correctly, Cheryl Reed, and Larry Campbell. Welcome, Father, Cheryl, and Larry, to Catholic Chicago. Thank you for being with us this morning. And maybe we could start with a question. How was the celebration yesterday? How was that Mass? Father, do you want to start? And then Cheryl, and then Larry, give us your impressions.
Yes. The Mass went very well. Had a big number of attendees. Our former parishioners who were here, they came in a big number. Mm-hmm. And the celebration went very well.
Where is St. Peter and Paul?
St. Peter and Paul is located at 12459. Yeah, 12459 South Halsted Street, in Chicago.
Beautiful. Well, Cheryl, what about you? What's your role in the parish, and what's your reaction?
Well, my main role is the youth ministry coordinator. That's the one that I hold dearest to my heart. And my reaction, Mass yesterday was joyful. Like Father said, it was so uplifting to see all of our former parishioners return. They came back home. Mm-hmm. They weren't visitors, they came home. The choir, the music from the choir was uplifting. It was joyful. They sang a song called Be Blessed that I was commentator. So as I looked around, I saw people wiping tears from their eyes when that song was being sung by the choir. It was a beautiful day.
Great.
I'm gonna let Larry. I can keep going, but I know Larry wants to talk. So
Go ahead, Larry. You guys must work together, huh?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah we do.
yeah.
Larry, what about you? What was your
Yeah.
reaction?
Good morning, Mark.
Good
nice
morning.
to see you again.
Yeah, thank you for joining us again.
Just as Father and Cheryl said, the occasion gave us all an opportunity to relive wonderful memories in our life and milestones, everything from altar serving, baptisms, confirmations, weddings, and even funerals.
Mm-hmm.
The events committee of the parish did a wonderful job of planning it with Father's direct input, and I thought the day really was really fantastic.
Great, Father Hunter.
And I just
go ahead, Cheryl. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Yeah, I'd like to add one thing. Because we had so many people returning who had been married at the parish, Father had all of us stand, and he blessed our marriages. And I thought that, and since I'm one of them,
Mm-hmm.
I found it heartwarming to have my marriage blessed again.
When were
So
you?
thank you, Father, for that.
When were you married?
Welcome.
Well, technically, I got married 51 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but because it was a civil ceremony, Father remarried my husband and I because he became, this is off topic, but
That's
he became
all
a
right.
Catholic. He became a Catholic during the pandemics. He was baptized, received his first communion, his confirmation, and Father remarried us all on the same day.
How beautiful! What a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And you were what? 5 years old when you got married?
Yes, yes. How did you know?
I just knew it. Father, what about this process, the Renew My Church process? How? Give me your overview of how you experienced the process as a pastor.
Yeah, it was challenging. We started with the groupings. A number of churches we are put together, 7 churches, and committee members of Renew My Church were formed from those different churches. And then when the time came, we started the process of meeting and discussing how many churches would remain open from 7 churches. So the process started a year ago, and there were a number of meetings and the discussions. So at the end, it was decided that from 7 churches, I would remain with 4 churches. Some were to stand at their current structure, some were to be unified, and some were to be closed. So on our grouping, or on our side, it happened that 3 churches will unite and make one, and 2 close and choose one location. So that was the most difficult part, which church to close and which one to open.
Right. And you said challenging, very challenging to you.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl,
Yeah,
Cheryl, what was the tone of the parishioners there as you went through this process that Father described?
Sadness,
Mm-hmm.
disbelief, hopefulness. It ran the gamut. I mean, initially, it was disbelief. Then it turned to sadness. And then it turned to a sense of hopefulness that as we come together as one parish, we can continue to blossom. I was on that grouping and discernment team, so I had an upfront and close view of it. And so I had a different reaction. But for some people, it was visceral. Others, it was, oh, well. So like I said, it ran the gamut.
Now, and as you're looking to the future now in terms of planning, Larry, what do you see as new opportunities?
Well, I think the biggest thing, Mark, is that we're going to have more financial resources. We're going to have more parishioners. We're going to have hopefully an opportunity to share the best practices at each parish. Just like Cheryl, I was also on the discernment team. Plus, I had been on a couple of, when the Arch first started the Renew My Church process, they had companions. So I was companion to two groupings the last 5 years. So we're looking at a situation, like Cheryl mentioned, hopefulness, that we can blend all the great talents from all three parishes and make a better parish, make one that's going to be viable and certainly sustainable. And that's certainly the purpose of Renew My Church. As we go in the future, we want to make sure that all of our parishes are sustainable so we don't have to do this again, down the road.
Father, are you going to be how is the structure set up? Are you going to be the pastor of the new cluster of parishes, or what's your role in the future now?
I'll be an associate pastor in the new United Parish. So the pastor will be the current one who is the pastor at where the location will be. Holy Name of Mary has been a pastor there, so I will join him as an associate in this new United Parish.
And then is it you and he kind of being the priest for those combined parishes, or do you have other priests that are going to be joining you?
No, it'll be the two of us. The third pastor was in another church to do other ministries, gospel ministries, so not be involved in parish ministry.
Okay, good. You know what? We're going to take a little break. WNDZ 750 AM Catholic Chicago, 312-255-840. You go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. When we get back, I'm going to ask Cheryl and Larry, with Father and the pastor and he is associate, what are your roles going to be as we move forward in this hopeful new venture for the blended parishes? We'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
Get ready for a fabulous day of golf for a great cause as Catholic Charities 2022 Golf Invitational tees off at the beautiful Olympia Fields Country Club on Monday, June 27th. Gather your friends, family members, and work colleagues for a day that is sure to be a highlight of your summer. Enjoyable contests and surprises are planned throughout the day to make this one extraordinary golf outing. Proceeds from this event will benefit Catholic Charities programs and services in Cook County. Fantastic sponsorships are still available for an invitational that is one of the most popular summer golf events in Chicago. Don't miss the 2022 Catholic Charities Golf Invitational on June 27th. For more information, go to CatholicCharities.net or call 847-226-5697. That's 847-226-5697.
year 44 for me teaching. When I started here, there were teachers here that had taught me when I was a student. Now I'm the old person. Right now, I teach junior high math. I love when kids find what I'm teaching to be fun and they get it. I see that light bulb go off and it's a thrill. People are always amazed. What? You're here for 44 years? It's hard for me to believe, frankly. I love what I do. Every summer I think, oh, I miss the classroom. Even on the weekends, I think I can't wait to get back on Monday and teach those quadratic equations.
Shape the next generation of leaders. Teach. Apply today at archchicago.org/schooljobs.
Do you have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
We're back. WNDZ 750 AM, Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408. Or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. We're here talking to Father Honoratus, Cheryl Reed, Larry Campbell. Before the break, I had said Cheryl and Larry, I was going to ask you, as you look to the future, Father has his role kind of carved out. I mean, it's yet to be seen how it evolves. But where do you see yourselves in this transition, Cheryl? And then Larry.
Well, initially, I'm on the unification team, where we're going to, and help me out, guys, determine the direction of the unified parish. So for now, I don't know if I'll continue on with all the ministries that I'm involved with at Saints Peter and Paul, because there are a lot of them. Mm-hmm. So for the initial, I'm going to take a step back and see how it goes, and then jump in where I think I can do the most benefit. But definitely, I want to be a part of the youth ministry at the new unified parish.
Well, that's in your heart.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Larry, what about you? Where do you?
Well, I think similar to Cheryl, I'm also going to be part of the unification committee. And, Mark, in all smaller parishes, people have a tendency to wear quite a few different hats because that's what we have to do to help the parish. One of the things that the Unification Committee is going to do is to try to take the best of each of the parishes and to split the responsibility and leadership roles. And we will all discern what we're going to do as we listen to each other. But I think, I can speak for Cheryl because she and I have had conversations. We're praying that we can be utilized in a way which is effective for the success of the new parish.
Beautiful, beautiful. Father, what about, what just structurally, what parishes are involved and what's the new look going to be?
There are 3 parishes involved: St. Peter and Paul, St. John de la Salle, and the Holy Name of Mary. Peter and Paul and St. John de la Salle will close and they go to Holy Name of Mary. That will be the new location.
So that's for worship too?
Worship site, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then a new name will be chosen. We have started that process of renaming the new United Parish. So it'll be a new name. And from there, we shall have a united parish, as Cheryl and Larry are saying. We're going to unite all the ministries which were being practiced in all the churches, and they put them together, and now move in a new direction. I'm hoping that it will be more vibrant because we shall have many resources, human resources, as well as financial resources. Hopefully, it will be more powerful now because we have many people be involved in those various ministries.
I have a suggestion for a name. Do you ever think of St. Mark? No, I'm just throwing it out there.
It didn't make the cut.
What about Cheryl, Larry? You got a favorite memory? Got a favorite memory of St. Peter and Paul that you'd want to share with us?
Well, everybody knows that I went to St. Helena, and when that church closed, then I came to St. Peter and Paul. Well, at St. Helena, I wasn't involved in anything. I just went to church, listened to Father Honoratus, and then came home. When I got to St. Peter and Paul, I met Christina Chambers. Christina Chambers was one of those kind of individuals who was tenacious, to say the least. And she's the one that got me involved in the volunteering process. And so my favorite memory is of Christina Chambers, who's no longer with us, but she's the one that got me involved in what I'm doing now. So I'm forever grateful to her.
Beautiful. And that's Pope Francis's accompaniment idea, that she accompanied you into ministry.
She did.
How beautiful. Larry, what about you?
Yeah, and Mark, Chris is also a dear friend of mine, and it just shows you that a lot of times we miss out because we don't ask people to help us. And when you do, a lot of times, just like Cheryl, you get involved in. My favorite memory, and like I said, one of the things about situation, we've reflected upon some things that maybe we haven't thought about for a while. I remember, I was at the parish, and I was doing a few things, but not a ton of things. And then when Father came aboard, I had a conversation with him, and I said, Father, look, I'm retired. I'm willing to help the parish in any way I can. Think about it. So the next day he comes back to me. He says, well, I want you to do something. I said, okay, Father, what is it? He goes, well, we're having our 100th anniversary celebration coming up for the parish, and I'd like you to lead it. And I said, well, that sounds good, Father. And I go, well, when is this going to happen? Oh, 3 months.
Baptism by fire.
Yeah, the nice thing, Mark, is that just like now, we just had some tremendously committed, talented, skillful people at the parish. And I think, going back to the word blessed, again, considering our size, it was really amazing how many skills that we had from people from their work life as well as their spiritual life that really helped run the parish. And we were very fortunate that Father's leadership style is that he uses his volunteers and he trusts his volunteers. And that's really made it easier for all the folks, regardless of what level of volunteerism they did, that they knew that Father enjoyed our input and listened to it. And Father, we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Now, Father,
may I say one more thing?
Sure.
If it's okay.
Sure.
We have the best Facebook page of any parish. Our Facebook page is active. Our Mass was live streamed yesterday, and we've gotten so many views.
Well, tell people how to find it.
It's at SSPPChicago/Facebook.com.
One more
anyway,
time.
My daughter is the administrator.
Well, repeat it again so that she gets some support. Where is it again?
SSPPChicago.com. SSPPChicago/Facebook.com.
Beautiful. Now, I want before we have to wrap it up, Father, I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay, you tell our listeners, what are the gifts Cheryl and Larry bring to the parish?
Well, he put it up there.
Yeah, there it is. It's on YouTube now.
There it is. Yes.
Beautiful. So, Father, what are the gifts? What are the gifts Cheryl brings? What are the gifts Larry brings?
Yeah, what are the gifts which Cheryl brings to the parish is her spirit of inspiring. You know, she has been a youth coordinator, as she said. She had so inspired the youth so much that they appreciated, even gave her an award because of what she did for them, because he was able to help them to come out and develop their talents, like public speaking, and they were able to read in the church, send them out to do the readings. So they were so happy. Oh, and she is gifted also in volunteering. She gives her time and talents to the church.
Beautiful. Now, before we end, how about let's get Larry in there. What about Larry?
Yeah, Larry also is a wonderful person. He uses time for the church because, as they said, he is retired. So he volunteers and does so many things in the church, like coordinating all the other teams and helping the projects of the church. If we want to do a certain project, the one running it always brings some new ideas so that we can help the church.
Now, when you come to Larry with an idea now, do you give him a little more lead time than the 3 months that you did before? We're going to have to. This has been just a joy to hear Father Honoratus and Cheryl Reed and Larry Campbell talk about the unification of Saints Peter and Paul into their new parish. They're working on a new name. St. Mark is in the running for that, which I appreciate very, very much. I'd like to thank them again. God bless you in your work. And you know what, Cheryl and Larry, just so you know, as Father was talking about both of you, he was smiling the whole time. So you are really gifts to the process. Father, you are a gift to everybody in the process too. So thank you for joining Catholic Chicago, WNDZ 750 AM, 312-255-8408, or you can catch us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. We'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
Ancestry and genealogy are more important every day. People all over the world are wanting to learn more about their family heritage for personal and for health reasons. At Catholic Charities, we are hearing from adults who lived for a brief time at St. Vincent's Orphanage, the wonderful, life-affirming agency that operated out of our headquarters for 91 years, serving thousands of women, children, and families until it closed in 1972. Our post-adoption services help adults who want to learn more about their experience at St. Vincent's. Our compassionate staff members provide whatever family background information they can offer, along with support and reunion services. To learn more, call 312-655-7093. That's 312-655-7093. The spirit of St. Vincent's lives on in the inspiring stories that continue to emerge today.
Welcome back.
Es fabuloso verlos.
Dobrze jest znowu być razem.
It's good to be together again.
After so many months apart, pandemic capacity limits have been lifted, and we want to welcome everyone back to church. We can all pray together again. And listen as our choirs lift their voices in song.
We've been together in spirit.
And now, when you are ready, our doors are open wide.
Nuestras puertas están abiertas de par en par.
Nasze drzwi są otwarte.
And we're here to welcome you back to Catholic Mass.
The cemetery ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
We're back, WNDZ 750 AM, Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408, or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. Mark Teresi, Executive Director at Holy Name, sitting in here for Father Greg Sakowicz, who is joining his fellow priest from the Archdiocese of Chicago at the priest convocation this week. We're happy in our second half of the program to welcome Dr. Timone Davis, an assistant professor at Pastoral Studies with an emphasis in Black Catholic theology at Loyola University's Institute Pastoral Studies. She's also associate convener with the Black Catholic Theological Symposium, and she's author of the book Intergenerational Catechesis, Revitalizing Faith Through African American Storytelling. Dr. Davis, welcome to Catholic Chicago. And I have...
very much.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm an alum of Pastoral, of the IPS. But
really? That's wonderful.
I think it was a wooden log cabin when I went through. But actually, my area was mass media, and we had established an internship at ABC and did the reflective piece in terms of social service, and it was great. It was just a wonderful experience. So I'm glad you're on the faculty there. Now, your name on my notes is spelled with a small t and a small d. Is that a
That is correct.
Is that a typo? Michael, did he make a typo or no? That's correct.
Michael doesn't make typos. You know that. Michael doesn't do typos. So no. I spell my name in lowercase letters, and it goes, for me, is a visual reminder for me to decrease and allow Christ to increase in me.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's kind of what I do.
Beautiful. Now, I noticed a picture of Father Tolton behind you.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you connect with him?
Oh, that's such a great story. And I don't actually get to tell it often, but I am an alum of the Augustus Tolton Pastoral Ministry Program at Catholic Theological Union, which is, of course, a wonderful scholarship program for African American people who want to get their advanced degree in theology. And so I started in the program in 1990. Oh, my goodness. 7. I think it was January of 1997 when Sister Dr. Jamie T. Phelps was
I love Jamie Phelps.
Director of
what
that
a wonderful
program.
lady. What a wonderful lady.
Definitely. And then Dr. C. Vanessa White took over as the director of the program. And so it is precisely because of that program that I have made my way in ministry, in higher ed, just learning and growing through the formation program. At one point after graduation, I served as the formation director, I think for about 8 or 9 years with scholars. So I am looking forward to calling Father Tolton saint.
I agree.
Very soon. I'm hoping very soon.
Now, quietly, even though it's not quiet when you're on the radio, but we have a special spot reserved at Cathedral when that happens. We're just we're just so thrilled, and we have our Tolton ministry, in prayer at Cathedral. Have you ever spoken with our group at Holy Name?
Oh, yes. I've been to Holy Name several times.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah. It's a wonderful group of people there who are in love with the Lord.
Yeah.
And so I like coming to spend time with them. I think my last time that I was there, my father had recently died. And I was going to cancel. I was scheduled to speak, and I was going to cancel because I was like, I don't know that I can do it. Mm-hmm. And I really thought about it. And I know my father would not have wanted me to do that. Mm-hmm. And so I showed up and I told people what was going on. And we just breathed into the space and allowed the Spirit to move. And they took great care of me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a great community.
Yeah, definitely.
Father Tito, who was an associate, retired, and the Mass was yesterday. And one of the things he said was, he always knew about the cathedral, the big cathedral, but he never knew about that wonderful faith community encased in that cathedral. And you just verified it for me. It's a wonderful place to be. Now, what about, how did you get to IPS?
Oh, that's another great story. As you can see, I just surround everything that I'm doing around a story. So I was at the National Association of Lay Ministry Conference in, I think this was 2014, as a responder to all of the keynotes that were happening that year. And at the time, the director of IPS asked me, hey, have you ever thought about, teaching or whatever? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And it was like, well, I think the students at IPS would really benefit from your perspective on things. Mm-hmm. And it was at this time that my husband and I had just started 2 small businesses. One was medical billing, and the other one was clinical counseling and spiritual companioning. And I said, I just don't have the time. I can't do it. And he was like, well, can we just talk about it? And I was like, I'm a little busy. How about lunch? We could talk about it over lunch, right? And I was like, lunch downtown? You're paying? Of course.
I'll be
we
there.
We can talk about it. Of course we can talk about it. And so over lunch, it was a great lunch. And over lunch, he convinced me to say yes to being an adjunct for a religious ed course in the spring. Now, we were having this conversation in like June. Mm-hmm. And so in the spring semester, and I was like, you know what? That's enough time for me to get used to the idea of teaching again. And I said yes. Well, little did I know that somebody would drop out in the fall of that same year, and he needed me to start sooner rather than later. And so that's 8 years ago.
It's kind of how the Spirit works, huh?
The Spirit sneaks up on us sometimes and just orchestrates some things. And we have to be in a space where we can discern the Spirit and then give our response.
Exactly.
And my first response was no. And the Holy Spirit arrested that particular response and said my response to, working full time then was, can I pray on it and have a discussion with my husband?
Mm-hmm. And you're saying yes to the unknown,
yeah.
Which is a big yes, but guess what? It always turns out to be a blessing.
I mean, when we lean on the Holy Spirit, it's always an unknown. Yeah. And so I think part of it is getting comfortable with the unknown and trusting that the Holy Spirit is going to take good care of us.
Always does. Father Greg.
Yeah, always.
Father Greg, over the course of some years, we've been friends forever, but he's asked me many times to do things like executive director at Holy Name, and I've always said no. And then he says, eventually, just pray about it. You'll say, the famous pray about it, and you'll say yes.
Yes.
But the yeses are always wonderful, always wonderful. Mm-hmm. We're going to take a little break. When we get back, I'd like to talk a little bit about that, the Black Catholic theology at Loyola, but then the other organizations. And it's interesting, you talked about storytelling. Some years back, I went to a Kellogg conference, and the big thing in management, storytelling. Yeah, so we were way ahead of the game on that one as a church. But anyway, we'll be back. WNDZ, 750 AM, Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408. You can go to youtube.com, and we will be back with Dr. Timone Davis in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
At Catholic Charities, we want to remind you that we are here for anyone who is a victim of domestic violence or anyone who has a concern about someone they think may be a victim. Domestic violence affects millions of people each year, both women and men, of every race, religion, culture, and economic status. It includes physical, psychological, and emotional abuse, inflicted in both subtle and overt ways. The impact on children can be devastating. If you or someone you know are victims of domestic violence and you are looking for a place for healing and recovery, call us at 773-935-3434 in Cook County and 224-430-4977 in Lake County. A safer, happier tomorrow can begin today.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Our school communities provide students with academic excellence and character education in a supportive and stable learning environment. Come see for yourself. Visit archchicago.org/findaschool.
Do you have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
We're back, WNDZ, 750 AM, Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408, or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. We're having a wonderful conversation with Dr. Timone Davis, Assistant Professor of Pastoral Studies with an emphasis in Black Catholic Theology, Loyola University's IPS, Institute of Pastoral Studies. Why is IPS important today? Dr. Davis.
Why is IPS important today?
Yeah.
I want to say that we're important because we're taking note of what is happening to people and faith and meeting the needs of what's happening right now. We're not going to be accused of teaching anything that's old, that's irrelevant. We're taking what's happening in the church, the history of the church, the teachings of the church, the ordinances of the church, the dogmas of the church, and we're applying it to what's happening right now on the ground. And a great example of that is when the racial unrest happened during the beginnings of the pandemic, and various organizations were putting out statements against racial unrest and what take they were taking a stand on things. At IPS, we chose to do something different, and that was to design a course that would invite not only our students to engage in this in a way that would be life-giving for them, but how to be ministers present. And so we created this course that everyone would be teaching in, and it was entitled Doing Liturgy in a Racially Violent America.
Wow. And
we really took a stand. So each full-time instructor taught a week in that course, where we were looking at the beginnings of slavery in America. We were looking at how capitalism came to life to hold slavery in place. We began to look at Jim Crow. We looked at liturgies, how liturgy enforces beliefs. We looked at how the church can be complicit in these things. And we also looked at how you can create liturgies that break open or break free from white supremacy, and in a way that is life-giving for all who are celebrating in those liturgies. It was a fascinating course. It was just brilliant on our part to go beyond a statement, but to live into what it is that we believe we stand for, and that is teaching and being a part of ministries that address what's happening right now.
Totally in sync with the mission and ministry of Loyola University.
Yes.
Totally in sync. It's beautiful. What about, it says you have an emphasis in Black Catholic theology at Loyola. Can you talk a little bit about what that looks like? I don't know if it's, you want to talk curriculum or spirit of that presence in the curriculum?
Right now, it's the spirit of the presence in the curriculum, because it's one thing to say, hey, let's just redo the curriculum so it can address Black Catholicism. But I don't think the curriculum totally needs to be redone. But what we need to do is open up our curriculum to make sure we are looking at or using the works of Black Catholics, theologians, sociologists, and that sort of thing in our work. So what has happened is I see my work as reminding my colleagues that there is someone who is Black and Catholic who's written on this topic. Mm-hmm. Is that book a part of their course? And if not, how do we get that book in there so that students are reading and exploring? To that vein, though, right? It opens the door to, are we looking now across cultural families, right? Are we looking at Latino works that may figure into our courses and things? So are we looking at gender identities, right, that would figure in? So I look at my emphasis in Black Catholicism as the door that we enter in through to have us looking at how we can be more inclusive in our current curriculum, bringing in more authors, more works that are cutting across the traditional, I want to say European authors that we look at and haven't give voice or presence to other voices.
Now, I had a question. When you had talked before about getting that saint in front of Father Tolton, I have a personal desire that a saint is in front of Thea Bowman's name.
Oh, but of course, and you see her picture there as well.
Yeah, and Thea Bowman, short story, and then I'm going to ask your opinion on something. So the short story is there's a woman, Mary Lou Jennings. She looks like Granny Clampett, a little white woman, who was a friend of Thea's, and Thea asked her to start a foundation. So this foundation, the Thea Bowman Foundation, supports young, it used to be just Black females, now it's Black males, in a college curriculum. They partner with colleges throughout the country. It started in Pittsburgh. We have Loyola, I think, is a partner, and DePaul is a partner. Mm-hmm. And anyway, Mary Lou Jennings, she got tapped on the shoulder like you did. She didn't know where that was coming from. And I think 30-some years later, they're going to get a new executive director. She's still going to be involved. But she was totally enamored with Thea. And not that she was as a sainted person, but not like holier than thou sainted. She was a tough lady. I mean, she knew how to speak truth to power. So tell me, why is Thea up there?
I never got a chance to meet Sister Thea, as many people that I know have. But one of the things that I have learned about her life is that she celebrated her love of Jesus. Mm-hmm. She just celebrated that in her living. And she didn't care what people thought about it, how it made her look. Because, when you really celebrate your love for Jesus, the path that it sets you on is not popular. Other people can't see it. They don't understand it. And she walked boldly into the path that she was called to do. And I seek to do that every day, to walk boldly into the path that God is laying before me, and to celebrate that in its difficulty. And she's just a model of doing that for me. And the more I learn about her, the more I'm like, yes, and that whole speaking truth to power, when you celebrate Jesus in your life, you have the ability to speak some things that are unpopular, but they are things that hold the test of time because they are true. And Sister Thea Bowman spoke a lot of things a long time ago that we are just now really learning to live into.
Exactly. Now, and there's a clip, I don't know if you've ever seen it. We've had it at the benefit, the Thea Bowman benefit. She's speaking to the USCCB, the bishops.
Yes.
And by the end of the talk, it was such a truth and powerful talk. You could see some of the guard breaking down, like the bishops were singing with her and they were joining hands. And it was almost like she captured a new spirit for them, which was beautiful, beautiful. Before we have to wrap it up, this has been just a joy for me. Anything you want to talk about in terms of storytelling? Let's get to that.
In terms of storytelling, I really want people to understand that storytelling is a part of our life, right? We do it all the time. We share it with one another and so easily. But I also want people to know that story is a part of our faith. That's how we share our faith and our love for Jesus Christ, is we share a story about what Jesus is doing for us, has done for us. And if we would just keep telling the story of Jesus and what Jesus is doing in our lives, we can make a difference in this world. And it just starts one story at a time about what Jesus is doing right now in our lives. Not always about what Jesus has done, but what Jesus is doing right now in our lives.
This moment. Now, I had a question. This is maybe a little off topic, but not really. What did your husband think about this when you made this decision to really move in a different direction?
He actually encouraged it.
He saw it.
He saw it.
As husbands do.
Yes, I have to give credit to husbands. I surely do. He saw it. I didn't. And so he helped open me up to the possibility that this was the next steps for me, for us, for what God was calling me to.
Well, I'd like to.
It was him.
Beautiful. I'd like to thank you, Dr. Timone Davis, Assistant Professor at Loyola University. What a joy. What a joy speaking with you. Loyola has a gift in you. IPS does. It's a wonderful gift. So Catholic Chicago, thank you again. WNDZ 750 AM. You can go to youtube.com. Mark Tracy sitting in here for Father Greg Sakowicz, wishing you a beautiful, blessed day. God bless.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.